Hello my loves, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing really well. Today I wanted to share 6 healthy habits that have helped me transform my life, transform my days. I feel like something that is not spoken about enough is how confusing your 20s can be. I'm sure your 30s the same, but I just wanted to go through some habits that have really helped me through a time where I've just felt a little bit up in the air, kind of going through the motions, and just things that have really helped transform my mindset, especially when, you know, those days where you just get caught up in your overthinking and you want to make changes but you don't know where to start. These are a few places that you can start and can help. Maybe let's not start with this coffee cup because I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether like the capsule, I've got one of those Nespresso machines and I can't work out if the capsule has like exploded in the machine, but there are bits in my coffee, you know, like the black coffee bits. Drinks it anyway. So we'll dive straight into the healthy habits. I've made some notes down here. I'm with the first habit, which in my opinion is the most transformative in terms of it's transformed my mood, just how I feel, and just helps me out for the rest of the day, which is having my phone on charge in the kitchen. And I leave my phone on night mode when I go to bed, and then when my alarm goes off, get out of bed and go turn my phone off. Not only is like a habit stack, so I physically got out of bed, I'm not gonna be as likely to just snooze my alarm and get back into bed, but also not starting the day on my phone. So from there, I will literally go get myself ready, do my whole morning routine, and having the first hour phone free and just with yourself, with your own thoughts, is amazing and sets you up for a much better day, rather than, I know how easy this is, fallen back into that habit before. So say if I've started this for a while, but you know, your alarm goes off, you go on your phone, you start your day by scrolling, and then already that first like half hour of your day or however long you've laid there in bed has just disappeared, and you're like, where has that time gone, you know? So like I say, I'll get up, do my little morning routine, journal if I want to meditate, or just get straight to the gym. Just that in itself is the best. And I think however you start your day in the morning usually dictates how the rest of your day goes. So you just want to set yourself up for a good day from that point. So number 2 is prioritizing 3 tasks that need doing that day. So what I mean by that is like not 3 things that you can literally tick off in the first half an hour of your day, but 3 things that amount the most to your bigger goal, if that makes sense. Getting a good workout in is one of those, and then you've got 2 other maybe work-related ones that are your bigger goals, and then sectioning off your smaller goals, so things that can be done super quickly, like after you've done your priorities, but mainly focusing on just 3 things. By having a prioritized list at the end of your day, when you have managed to do your 3 things, you just feel a lot more accomplished, rather than having that feeling of like, oh, I've not done X, Y, and Z. And then, you know, that feeling of like clutter in your mind where you're just like, oh, I've still got all that to do tomorrow. And then you also have happier days because the next day you're not thinking, oh, I've got that dreaded flipping list to plow through. So that has completely changed my work days and just improved my workflow completely. I would definitely recommend that if you haven't thought about trying that before. Then the 3rd habit is doing at least 1 scary thing every single day and really making that a habit, which I feel like there's some fun to that. So for me, it's mainly I try and make sure I spark up a conversation somewhere where I feel quite uncomfortable. So say if I'm getting in a lift, or I don't know, at the end of a gym class, literally wherever you can think of, or if it's someone at work, someone at the gym, just sparking up conversation and making yourself uncomfortable. Like the other day I bought someone a coffee and I felt so weird. Like when I was doing it, I was thinking, oh God, I hope they don't think like I started overthinking it. I was like, oh God, I hope this doesn't come across strange. But it was actually the nicest conversation that we then had. And I think just making sure, like putting yourself in uncomfortable scenarios like that really builds your confidence as well. And I feel like my dad's always taught me this, to be honest, like from young, like he speaks to everyone. And I would also say, like, I would go up to anyone now and start up a conversation. You can learn from absolutely every single person you meet, and it's so nice. I feel like I get a lot of energy from having nice conversations, and obviously it's not always going to go to plan, but I think it's just nice to put yourself out there and to be a smiley face as well. I feel like that goes a long way. I do feel like we're getting less social though in general because of all our technology and stuff that we have these days. Like, you know, I've got the AirPod Pros at the moment, and I was in the gym the other day in my own zone. I had my music in, but because they're noise blocking, someone physically had to touch me just to ask if they could jump in with me on a machine at the gym. And I thought to myself, oh, that's really such a realization. Or I was just thinking, we are getting less social in that aspect. So now, like, I'll have some gym sessions where I'll have one earphone in, or I'll just be in my own little zone. The amount of scenarios that I feel like just from sparking up a conversation, you know, like in airports, places like that, you can just, obviously not even with that intention, but it's crazy what you can learn from people, what people share with you. And I just think that's such a nice like learning, and something I try and implement every single day. And even if it's not speaking to people necessarily, but just trying a new fitness class, getting out of your four walls of your house on an evening and putting yourself out there. And the fourth healthy habit that has changed my life has been getting 10,000 steps a day. There has been obviously times since I have been doing my daily step count goal where I haven't got that, and that's absolutely fine, no stress, but aiming for that has helped me so much with just my mental health on a whole. It's also been a time when I get out on my walks that I listen to a lot of podcasts and like self-development, and it's my little me time. I feel completely different when I've been out for a walk. It's also been amazing for my fitness goals as well, and it's helped me maintain where I feel my happiest in terms of my physique and being the best form of list cardio ever. It's not as much stress on my body, say, as doing high intensity cardio workouts, and I'd much rather be putting less stress in terms of like my hormone balance, that kind of thing. So that has been the most transformative thing, and something that I like to maintain throughout the summer here. It got super hot. It's been really humid out, so I've been doing a lot of my steps on the stairs, which I don't prefer as much as getting out. And when you're setting a new step count goal, start small and then add to it. You don't want to throw in, say, if 10k steps, say if you've been doing 2,000 and then you go in for 10,000 steps, that is such a big jump. You want to make it something maintainable and that you can actually sustain, and just trying out different ways as well is super helpful. Then number 5 is kind of a quote that I just come back to in my mind when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm just feeling a kind of way where my mind's racing and I feel like I'm being hard on myself, is focus on the next step, not the whole staircase, which is something I remind myself of so much. And just that quote alone has really helped me just to get through things. Even like, say, filming this video, I feel like we always have so much resistance towards things. So for me, like, to film a video, I want to make sure my setup's right. I haven't got anything too noisy going on in the background. I am presented in a certain way. You know, I've got clean hair and I feel like my best self, that I'm showing up as myself, you know. And I feel like resistance and overthinking, say if there's some building work going on down there like that, it just adds all this resistance, and you can just get into that loop of like overthinking things. Or say if you're not where you want to be, you start dwelling on that, comparing, going on social media, and you just lose yourself in your own thoughts. Whereas I think if you just think, right, my goal's here, and what is the next actionable goal that I can take that's going to get me closer to that? And it's all the small little things. Like, for example, I had a problem with the gas in this apartment, and it was on the bottom of my like list of things to do, but then that actually reflected on, say, I wanted to film like a certain recipe video, but because I hadn't got this flipping gas sorted, as I just hadn't prioritized it, that sort of held other stuff back. So it's like, my goal's here, the actionable steps, for example, call up the gas company to sort out, just arrange a time that I'm going to be in, which took me 2 minutes, but it's just like, what's that next actionable step? And then breaking things right down, like breaking your big stresses and goals into smaller compartments. And then when you actually just start the one thing, so for example, say I've been faffing about with how I want to have my video set up. If I just literally click record, try the setting, and then I can change or add or take away or whatever, you know. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that wasn't just a ramble, but just constantly reminding myself of that. So I even, hang on, I'll grab it. I even wrote this out when I was journaling the other day. I thought, I'm gonna have this on my kitchen top on display, and it's just do the next action and a little heart. Your actions lead to your behaviors, and then your behaviors create your feelings and emotions. So obviously the feelings and emotions tend to be, if they're like stress related or you're worrying, that is back, you know, like towards like what behaviors have kind of caused those thoughts and feelings. Whereas when you're actioning and that change in your behaviours, you're going to have better feelings and emotions, which I absolutely loved that. So I read that in a book that I'm currently reading. It's an amazing book called The SHIT They Never Taught You, and it's just like loads of best bits from so many different books. It is amazing, and I keep going back to it and certain chapters because they really hit home and would really recommend. Then the last transformative habit is having a consistent sleep schedule. Most importantly, having a time as similar as possible as you can every night that you go to sleep, especially if you're wanting to get up earlier in the morning. And it's so important to be getting at least 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, and that will transform your days, how much energy you have, how hungry you are the next day, and just allow your body to recover if you have got fitness goals and if you've got a certain goal physique wise. Sleep is so key, and for your hormones, literally sleep plays such a huge part in all of those things. So that has transformed my days, and also having some time before I actually want to fall asleep. So if I'm getting up at 6, I want to be in bed for 9, and then I'll like read my book for a bit if I'm watching something, but I'll make sure I'm hopefully asleep for 10 most nights, and sticking to that as often as I possibly can. Obviously things come up and that's completely normal as well, but that has really transformed how easy it is. Like, I don't feel as much pain when my alarm goes off, and it's easier to keep in that routine, and your body as well gets into a routine with that, like your circadian rhythm really adjusts. And then what I do when I do wake up is make sure I get as much natural light to wake my body up as I can. And yeah, they're 6 things that have really transformed my mindset just in every way and make me feel so much better within myself. My days feel like they flow a lot more, and I just get into that state of where I'm really enjoying what I'm actually doing. I really hope they're useful. Do let me know if you try any of those, and yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you would like to see next. If you aren't already, I'd love you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and making sure you've liked this video. It really helps and supports my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.